Deadly crash in To Kwa Wan after a car knocks over pedestrians in a parking lot. Government defends new procured Sinovac flu shots, while doctors call for the right to pick vaccine brands. And Nepal Prime Minister resigns as fiery protests rage on over social media ban. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. A woman was killed and 5 others injured after an electric vehicle struck pedestrians and collided with another car in To Kwa Wan's Matawai estate this afternoon. The incident occurred at around 3:30 p.m. near the estate's parking lot. According to police and eyewitness accounts, a white electric car owned by CLP Group reportedly entered the parking area via the exit lane, moving against the flow of traffic. It first struck 2 pedestrians, then crashed into a parked black private car. 1 female pedestrian sustained severe injuries and was pronounced dead after emergency treatment at Kwang Wah Hospital. The other injured included the driver and 3 passengers of the CLP vehicle, as well as a second pedestrian. For the first time, the government will offer flu shots made by Sinovac under its subsidy program for high-risk residents. But the vaccine was found to lack clinical data on pregnant women and could be given to students in school-based inoculation outreach. Health authorities said residents won't be able to choose their preferred brand of vaccines under the scheme, but stressed they are all safe. Jamie Liu reports.
This year's vaccination drive offers a total of 1.3 million doses of flu jabs, including the mainland-made Sinovac vaccine. But the product's official fact sheet stated there is no clinical trial data available related to pregnant or breastfeeding women. Taking to the airwaves, Center for Health Protection Controller Edwin Cho cited the decades' use of flu vaccines to affirm the jab's safety, especially for mothers-to-be, as long as they are well informed about the risks. In addition to Sinovac, the government will also use flu shots from Paris-based Sanofi and the British-Swedish AstraZeneca. Sources said the Sinovac shots would be mainly supplied to outreach drives for secondary and primary schools alongside nasal spray ones. Pediatrician Chang Kit said while flu vaccines from different brands offer similar safety and effectiveness, he believed people should have the right to choose the one they prefer. Lawmaker Rebecca Chan worried that parents would pull their children from school vaccination schemes due to a lack of choice. Health officials stressed that all brands of vaccines they procured meet safety standards and will be allocated on a first-in, first-out basis, meaning all the inventory items will be used first. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
An underground market for fake university student cards has emerged on mainland's e-commerce platform Pinduoduo, offering tourists a path into Hong Kong's most prestigious campuses for around $50. But legal experts warn it is also a parallel path to 14 years behind bars. Quentin Yang has more details.
Log into Pinduoduo and search Hong Kong University student cards. You'll find multiple stores providing custom-made fake IDs for institutions like the University of Hong Kong and Chinese University of Hong Kong. Buyers only need to provide a personal photo and basic details to receive a fabricated student card, often delivered within a day. One shop owner allegedly claimed a fake card could grant campus access, though not promising dormitories and libraries entrance. Another vendor was more cautious, explicitly stating their products contain no computer chip and were for entertainment and posing only. User reviews praised the card's authenticity, with comments noting they were not much different from the original. Some buyers hinted at intended misuse, with one stating it was for student discounts. Most of local universities have confirmed no fake card usage has been found. The schools emphasize their official cards use encryption and anti-counterfeit designs that are difficult to replicate, and alerted any fake detected will be reported to police. Legal experts also warn that, under local law, using forged documents to achieve dishonest objectives constitutes a criminal offense. Barrister Stephen Wang said, unauthorized entry into university premises using such a card may also amount to fraud that can result in up to 14 years imprisonment. By 3 p.m., the service and relevant vendors had been removed from Pinduoduo, though there hasn't been an official reply. Kunting Yang, Cable News.
Some 200 households on Repulse Bay Road in Hong Kong Island's southern district were left without power this afternoon after a high-voltage cable was damaged. The power outage occurred around 2:30 p.m. when an 11 kilovolt high-voltage cable was accidentally damaged by third-party construction work. The incident affected multiple substations along Repulse Bay Road, impacting over 200 customers, including the high-end residential complex Royal Garden. Power provider Hong Kong Electric immediately dispatched engineers to repair the cable and provided temporary power through mobile generators. The company has apologized to affected residents and is investigating the exact cause of the incident. Hong Kong's National Day celebration is set to sparkle with a 23-minute fireworks show lighting up the skies over Victoria Harbour. On October 1st at 8 p.m., locals and tourists can look forward to a dazzling spectacle as 31,888 fireworks burst across the city's skyline. Split into 8 vibrant scenes, this year's display pairs stunning visuals with a rousing musical soundtrack as the sky erupts in light and color. Sneak peeks reveal themes celebrating Hong Kong's beloved giant pandas, the upcoming national games, and a nod to mainland's animation blockbuster Ne Zha. Sponsored by the Chinese General Chamber of Commerce, a fiery 125 display will mark the Chamber's 125th anniversary before the main performance. Revelers can grab a prime spot along both sides of the Victoria Harbour or cozy up at home for the live broadcast. Secretary for Housing Winnie Ho expressed deep sadness regarding the tragic deaths of a mother and son with mental disorders who committed suicide after being asked to move out their Team Shui Wai public housing unit as they concealed 2 assets. The housing chief stressed that the housing department has acted in a humane manner when reclaiming the unit. Evelyn Bai reports.
The mother and son were allocated a public housing unit in 2017 and received a notice in November last year to move out, citing undeclared lands valued at over $700,000. Following their 2 appeals for reconsideration being rejected, the mother fell to her death in April, followed by her son in July.
Taking
to the airwaves, Ho said, the housing department has provided prompt support in this case, as social workers stepped in to help them apply for transitional housing and submit medical certificates to the appeal panel. The appeal panel had considered and balanced the overall circumstances, including the false declaration of assets, and concluded that they did not qualify for a public housing unit, Ho said. But the housing chief also acknowledged the need for improved sensitivity and communication skills among housing staff when dealing with tenants with special needs. She added that the appeal panel, comprised of legal and social professionals, may include medical experts in the future. As of May, more than 8,700 public housing flats were recovered by the government in view of tenancy abuse or breach of tenancy agreements. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli of Nepal has resigned, and the entire government now teeters on the brink after a second consecutive day of massive protests culminated in arson and vandalism, with Gen Z demonstrators setting fire to the residences of the country's president and other top leaders. The unrest, which has already claimed at least 21 young lives and left hundreds injured, upgraded just 1 day after authorities revoked a controversial social media ban, a key trigger for the initial outrage. Quentin Yang tells us more.
Protesters targeted the private homes of President Ramchandra Podel and Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli in the capital city of Kathmandu. online videos captured flames and thick smoke billowing from Ali's residence. Meanwhile, houses of former prime ministers and multiple high-ranking officials were also damaged. As a result, the prime minister resigned this afternoon as more and more ministers quit and distanced themselves from his administration. Targeted officials have evacuated via military helicopters, and local airport is closed with troops dispatched to secure the area. More casualties are reported as protests continue to simmer. A curfew is also in place, with police trying to push back the crowds but appear not to be using any force after previous repression killed 19 people and injured hundreds yesterday, as police fired live ammunition. The crisis began on Monday when thousands of youths, many still in school uniforms, gathered to protest the government's decision to block 26 social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Facing intense criticism, an emergency cabinet meeting was convened overnight to lift the ban. While the government had justified it as a measure against fake news and online fraud, demonstrators saw it as a direct retaliation against the popular online Nepo Kid campaign. This movement had spotlighted the opulent lifestyles of politicians' children, accusing them of being funded by corruption. Quentin Ya, Cable News.
Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra must now serve 1 year in prison after the Supreme Court ruled that his previous replacement of jail time with hospitalization was unlawful. Thaksin arrived at the court in Bangkok this morning, accompanied by his daughter, Paetongtarn Shinawatra. The 76-year-old returned to Thailand in 2023 after 15 years of exile, having been sentenced to 8 years in prison for corruption and abuse of power. However, on his first night in prison, he was transferred to a hospital due to health issues and was later granted a royal pardon, reducing his sentence to 1 year. The court ruled that his avoidance of prison detention was illegal and ordered him to serve the remaining 1-year term. The ex-leader later posted on social media that he accepts the verdict, saying, "Even though I will lose my freedom, I will still have freedom of thought for the benefit of my country and its people." Shares in Hong Kong rallied on hopes of a rate cut by the U.S. Federal Reserve next week, sending the benchmark index to break through the 26,000 mark and reach the highest level in almost 4 years. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 304 points. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar, euro 9.14, the Japanese yen 53.06. Mainland's biggest folding bicycle maker Dahon Technology made a strong market debut in Hong Kong after its shares were oversubscribed by more than 7,500 times, setting a new record in Hong Kong. Evelyn Bai reports.
The share opened at $67.50, 36.4% above the listing price of $49.50, and went as high as $69 before trimming gains to close at $56.95, which is still 15% above the offer price. As this initial public offering did not trigger a clawback mechanism and only 10% of the stocks are designated for retail investors, Dahon Trench was more than 7,500 times oversubscribed, surpassing the previous record of 6,288 times set by Most Kwai Chung in 2018. Meanwhile, the allotment rate saw a record low among IPOs without a clawback, only 0.02%, meaning for every 5,000 people who subscribed for the shares, only one lucky investor could grab one lot. Chief Executive Officer David Hon stated that the company will further focus on expanding into the European, American, Southeast Asian, and Middle Eastern markets following its listing. Founded in 1982, Dahon now sells 1 in 4 folding bicycles on the mainland, with surging market demands for bikes that do not take up too much space. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy with a few showers. More showers in some areas with thunderstorms at first tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 27 and 31 degrees. Sunny periods in the afternoon. Moderate southerly winds. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Ju. Thanks for watching. Good night.